To make sure that EHEDG guideline documents are always up to date, each document is updated at least once every 5 years. That means that at any given moment, many EHEDG working groups are working on new EHEDG guideline document updates. And today I'm talking with a chair of one of these working groups who has a special message for all the food processing companies out there. His name is Roger Scheffler, and he's the chair of the EHEDG working group Conveyor Systems. Hi, Roger. Great to have you with us today. Now, the initial working group that was established back in 2012 to develop the first guideline on conveyor systems, it took them, your group, almost 5 years to publish that guideline. Why did it take you so long back then?
It's been such a complex discussions about what is important to put into the guideline, what is less important. Everybody has its own interest to get pieces into the guideline, and we all had to kind of bundle these information into it. That's why it took so long, and we came out with a very good guideline in 2016.
Can you give us a few examples that illustrate the complexity of developing hygienic design, food-safe conveyor systems?
You have, for instance, elements like the transfer diameter, the transfer size, which requires sometimes a very little tiny nose bar transfer to be able to transport little products like little cookies from conveyor A to conveyor B. And that requires a specific belt technology. You cannot use all the technologies that are available just to reply or to address this little transfer. The same is with cleaning, for instance. If you have a line that needs to be allergen cleaned in between when batches changes over, so you have to have a very easy to clean conveyor system with a greater access. And this requires, for instance, a low tension or zero tension belting in order to have the ability to lift belting to gain access to all parts of the conveyors efficiently and effectively.
Now, at several food equipment fairs recently, at the AMMEGA in Cologne and at the IFA in Frankfurt, we saw that there were quite a few conveyor system developers who came up with innovative solutions that promised shorter cleaning interval times. Did you also notice that?
No, that is absolutely very true. So the area of conveyor systems in combination with the holistic approach, speaking cleaning systems or washing systems, is so interesting and growing. And on the AMMEGA and on the IFA as well in Frankfurt, you saw that there are a couple of companies that started offering their equipment with sanitation systems. And there are so many good suppliers out there in the market that offering systems for cleaning. I personally think that it requires really a fundamental engineering investigation. What makes most sense to put in? Just putting in a spray bar system or a ACS, an assistant cleaning system, is not enough. You have to transfer the knowledge how to embed a cleaning system into the procedures when is being cleaned routine or maybe pack clean, periodic cleaning, etc. But this is exactly what we want to generate as well with the guidelines, to understand how is the routine cleaning looking like. So we're looking at it from the hygiene perspective, and what are the opportunities we're bringing into the field of automation of cleaning. I can tell you from my experience that I have seen so many spray bar installations at conveyor systems in Europe that are not being in use, because if you talk to the customer, they say, yeah, they are not effective. Yeah, I can see that, because the engineering of these systems, even if it's a simple spray bar with nozzles, haven't had the right focus. So my encouraging is that we have to look at it in the near future. And I think the conveyor guidelines are a good starting point.
Now, at the start of this year, you established a new EHEDG working group with new members to develop this new EHEDG guideline document update. How far in the development process are you right now?
We're still in the process of evaluating what is the best approach. And we agreed to get away from this approach that we had, just listing technical criteria and getting resulting in a lot of pages. We will look at it from a risk assessment perspective. So this guideline will become more user-friendly and will be becoming also more end-user friendly, so that the end user and the person who is designing conveyor systems will easier look at the choice of, let's say, beltings and other systems like lifters and motors and so on from a risk assessment perspective. And I think this will elevate the quality of the guideline. And after half a year, I think we have such a great group found. With the next half year, will be more like executing and to see how this look like in the guideline itself. So we have already shared some draft documents with that. And now we're going to go into the summer break. And after summer break, we will continue the work with high speed.
Yes. And you mentioned the risk assessment. Is that also related to these new GFSI hygienic design benchmarking requirements?
Yes, exactly. Thanks for bringing this up. So we basing our guideline thought process on the GFSI hygienic design benchmarking process. We have an end user in the group that helps us a lot to better understand what the requirements are. And as we go, we are in agreement with all the experts in the group that this is exactly the better way of looking into conveyor guidelines. And I think this is also in line with the overall EHEDG mindset and EHEDG activities that are looking more into GFSI aspects.
I'm sure you agree that the input of the food processor is key to represent the perspective of the daily food processing experience in the working group. Tell me, why are food processing companies still underrepresented in most EHEDG working groups?
Absolutely. And to be honest, Rob, I don't really understand why we have just a very limited participation on end users. Not only in the conveyor group, I think in more than just the group. I can just encourage end users to really look into it. We have one end user right now into it. And we do this conveyor guideline for mainly the end users or designers that are really related to food processing. I would love to have more end users because it brings so much value, because the work that end users bring in can also be leveraged with inside their groups. So it's not only that we just sharing the work group internally, we also can go out and have beneficial profits from that within the organization.
Roger, the stage is yours. Please invite the viewers to participate in a compelling way.
Absolutely. Dear end user, please consider to be joining one of our working groups, especially conveyor subgroup is looking for your valuable input. Hygienic design equals better food safety, and better food safety equals better culture. And this has become an overall theme in our approach, talking to the market, talking to food processing machinery suppliers and the food processors. It all comes with the right food safety culture. And if that starts with hygienic design, you are more than welcome to bring in all your expertise to make these guidelines, especially the conveyor guidelines, even a better document than it is right now.
Well, thank you, Roger Scheffler, Chairman of the EHEDG Working Group Conveyor Systems. And dear viewer, if you are an expert working for a food processing company that can contribute to this EHEDG guideline update, please put your name in the comment section down below and we'll be happy to get back to you. And if you don't put your name in the comment section, at least please share this message in your network. Thank you for watching. See you next time.